We will see a simple process, a kind of POC process. Will explain you. POC process is exactly does is faces n number of interfaces might be there. Each interface might do some kind of separate some task, maybe let's say PO creation, purchase order creation, something like that. So once you submit the purchase order creation, you are submitting, a source system will be submitting, and the destination system the PO are. So as a business user, he want to track what is this, what he submitted, what exactly backend system is responded. And there are some key fields are there, like a purchase number and item name, customer name, something like that. There are key fields, are invoice numbers. These key fields he wanted to track it, what he sent in the request and what he's got from the response of backend system, what exactly posted to the backend system. He want to get some kind of a report. So that one exactly how we can do it. So and another requirement would be, and if we don't want to develop this again and again a different process for generating a report specific to an interface. It's not a specific to interface, it should be a generic. And maybe every interface can have their own XML structure, their own source systems. But irrespective of the things, we want to generate one common process, one interface that should be able to generate a report. And this process should be tagged to the main process, so that whenever we want, the process should be generate the report. So this is the overall intention of why we are going with the process. So now let me just go here. So this is kind of a sequence diagrams, what exactly it is doing something. So if we see what exactly this one is, we have handled with the payment. So assuming that the main process, the main process is dumping the source and destination payload in a payload table. Okay, in the payload table, the payload table, yeah, in the payload table, the so actual interfaces will go and dump the data. And after dumping the data, what Bhumi's process is going to do, Bhumi process created is items table. So what the Bhumi process first it will do is the config table, what exactly it stores here, the config table. It is stored interface name. What is the interface name? Will be there. So both will be correlated here. And destination payload and execution ID. See, one process can execute as many number of times, right? So execution ID will always be in a queue. So every execution specific source payload and destination payload, a corresponding interface name will be given. And this one will be a recon config. It's for every interface, what kind of the report, means the report should contain what fields, what are the list of fields from the destination node they're expecting. That part will go in this table. In the XPath list, what we are going to do, we are going to prepare one column with list of XPath expressions. This XPath expressions will be used as a dynamically we use as a custom scripting, and this XPath expression will go and get the data source payload. If you see this is a this XPath list, it will trying to retrieve the destination field path. What and all fields they wanted to get from the destination. List of fields comes from this table, and so from this we'll read both the tables, both the data into Bhumi process, and we'll take the destination, will export SLT, and after that we are storing in a dynamic process property. Entire this thing is storing in dynamic process property. After that we are applying an excess ex, sorry XPath expressions. Apply source, and we are inserting all the list of fields are available. Then we are inserting the data into a database table. After table is inserted, then we are just going and retrieving all those fields and generate an Excel file and send it as an email attachment. This is the overall. So how we leverage it, so this is the main process. Assuming that main process is always, main process is assuming atom queue. So we'll just use the atom queue connector in the main processes to just dump the source and destination payloads. So since we don't have main process here, what I did, I just kind of a stub, I created one stub process. So where I'm passing a source XML here, where I'm passing a destination XML here. Okay, so destination XML here. So I'm setting some parameters. Payload is the current data. Execution ID will be an execution ID. I already showed you yesterday. So how to take execution ID will be getting here. Dynamic process property name. So we're processing process name you're storing, and property value. Property type is the source or source. So here also this. What is this exactly? Test. Okay, so just I put it as a some test, means it's a one dummy document will be generated with a value called test. So I'll just go to this one here, because that test is a dummy data will be matched to the one flat file profile. So that's why I use this message shape for passing dummy. So what I am going to do, this is my XML structure that should be put it in the queue. So what the type means here? Type means here whether it's what type, whether source type or source for S for source and D for destination. That value we are already setting over here. Type S, the destination value type D. Okay, this is the one already listing. Execution ID we already, everything we store it in the process, and payload also the process name here, and if any additional things want to store it, so we are using additional function. It's basically a user defined function. Why? Because why we are not able to use user, why we are not able to use direct. See, in why it is taking so much time. So user defined in one function, what you will do, right? In one function, once a function, you will map the output to here. But what else you let's say something you want to take one process output and that pass as a input to the second process, second function. Maybe you wanted to do some kind of a nested function. Then you do your requirement and then you let your function return the value that you want to do. User defined functions, create new function. That's the same thing is created. I created a function called encrypt function name. If you want to pass any inputs to the function, you can define it here using plus. You want to define any outputs here, you can define a function here. So I define, as of now, I define no inputs because I don't want to pass any inputs. So I'll be getting inputs only. You need to define when you are mapping anything from the source. So here I use get dynamic process property, dynamic process property. Payload is giving, and that payload we are using custom scripting here. The payload is converted into base64 here, base64, and then storing it into storing it, sorry, just returning as an output out. So this out we are just mapping it here. This is the one exactly. So assuming that your parent process only need to change to just be another process. That process will be listening to that. The process will be listening to that queue, and then it insert the data into database. It is inserting the payload table. Okay, type everything, payload type, process name, payload execution id. So this is a so again we are decoding that again things. Earlier we encoded, right? So again we will be decoding it. So why you are encoding decoding it, just it will reduce some content, so nobody is able to understand whatever he is looking at it, queue level he cannot able to understand the data. So we're just inserting the, this is a very simple thing. It's just dynamic insert. I used it here. So it just dump the data into database. After that, so the main intention is, in the main process you will just dump it in a what and all processes you want to generate report. On that those main process you will just link to these two shapes, so that it will generate the required output. And once this is coupled to main process, all the process that I showed you here, this is common. One process can serve for all the one process can serve all the interfaces. Here whatever the flow diagram I explained here, right, this is where exactly is just doing it here. So let me explain you this. See, first what I am doing is I'm going to select created interface name XPath list from a reconfig table where interface name is. So interface name I passed it, and for with this interface name I am just querying what I am querying here, created interface name XPath list. So let me show you the how this data looks to me. This is the config, the process name, that's XML, not XML, it's XPath list. So if you see an XPath list, right, basically it means in order to extract a component, I need to give an XPath expression like this. And I'm just delimiting, separating source and destination with @ number is the one I'm just trying to. But the thing is, the source there is no namespaces, and the destination there is namespaces. Since namespaces are there, all namespaces also should be presented to the XPath in order to retrieve the correct value. So that's why you can see all every name. So overall number, from destination order number, from source supplier name, from from destination supplier field, from source payment mode, from destination payment terms, from source position line item. This is also a line number. So these are the four fields I am trying to extract it from the this is a way I wanted to extract from the source and destination. This I defined it in table that I am extracting here. After extracting, what I am doing, I'm just storing an entire this thing. You can see property. Property is a dynamic the XPath list. This is the entire column. Entire column I'm just storing it in a property, dynamic process property. So later on, for the second branch path. Second branch, because this table already inserted, right? Earlier this process already inserted the data into database. So I'm reading the same database now. Execution process name. Sorry, here you can see uh, execution ID from pair execution ID process type, and we are passing all these values. Passing all these values. One second. Let me close. Okay, let me just see execution ID, process name, and static value D is for destination. I am trying to query for destination. So after that I'll get things, but I want to make only the payload is a field name. Payload out of the many fields, I want only the payload is the field name only. I want to pass it. Rest of everything I don't want. Payload name. So why I'm passing it is XML, and on that XML I want to pass it as a, to the data process so that expert done the input to your data. I don't know whether you are using it or not, but still okay. So what this custom script will
Vima,
do?
your voice is breaking frequently.
Sorry,
Your voice is breaking frequently.
it. So still you don't have clarity.
No,
Whether
completely
it's
no.
clear.
Lots of breaks. When you're talking something, it will be.
Okay, then we will connect some other time. I think some problem. I think maybe today or tomorrow I'll connect one more time and explain this.
So I think earlier it was good, right? So there was something
Yeah,
issue.
I don't know.
See, even now also you get some background noise.
Mm. No, there is no open. Everything is closed. Okay, maybe we'll connect some other time. I think. No problem.
Hello.
We will connect.